Dorset Road, also the corner at Hiawassee. We're here live till 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We're also raffling off a free trip to Cancun. So stop on by, talk to myself, Mark, and Zach Oliver, and also pick up some great seafood as well, too. The call-in number, we'll give you guys a number in a second. But as we're going to break, we were talking about the awards going on in the NBA. So most importantly, guys, we know a lot of times the MVP has been settled by most people. I'm going to start with Paul first. Paul, is there anybody who's going to contend with Stephen Curry for the MVP of this league this year?
It doesn't look like it. I thought last year, Harden probably should have won it, and the players kind of confirmed that for me because they also voted Harden as the league's MVP. However, I didn't feel like he wasn't deserving. He did deserve it, but I just felt like Harden deserved it a little more. This year, there's nobody that I can point to and say maybe they should win. It's not even close. Right now, Curry's running away with it. His team's record is what is it? It's tied for the best at this point ever, I think, with the Philadelphia team. Is that right?
I believe
so.
Yeah. Yep. So, it's too impressive. You can't point to any other player and say, yeah, I think that guy has a chance. There's just no one.
Zach, what do you think?
I tend to agree. Maybe a guy like a Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but
Russell Westbrook could throw it in there.
I just don't think they're close enough because they have each other. This is the thing. Draymond Green gets no love.
Yeah.
He really gets no love, and he should. Possibly he should be second in MVP voting. He's been as important to that team as Steph Curry has.
I would argue that he's their most important player.
He could be. That's a very good point. He could be.
Well, Mark, before I give my take on it, Mark, what do you think?
I'll say like this. Stephen Curry's running away with it. I don't really think anybody is close. Team's playing better. He's playing better. I understand Westbrook, Durant, they're there, but then once you compare the teams, there's no comparison. And best player on best team, stats close, got to go with the guy on the best team. Easy.
I don't know, guys. You guys aren't giving Russell Westbrook enough love and credit. Westbrook's in the top 5 in scoring. He's the highest rebounding guard in the NBA at almost 8 a game. He's averaging 10 assists a game, leads the NBA in steals. Yes, he doesn't hit as many threes or is not as accurate as Curry on the floor, but how many guys in the NBA can you say is top 5 in those 3 categories and also averages almost 8 rebounds a game for a guard?
Well, listen, this is the thing. Now, obviously there's going to be a lot of people that disagree with me here, but I'm not saying Steph Curry's the best player in the league. I'm not even saying he's the best point guard because I don't think he is.
Okay.
You want to know who the best point guard in the league is, you ask me, it's Russell Westbrook, and it's not even close. Steph Curry is a great player. He's a great scorer, but he's not what Russell Westbrook is, in my opinion. Now, with that said, the season that Steph Curry is having on the team that he's on, it's very hard not to give that man the MVP.
Yeah, and I think that some of it with Westbrook is Durant takes some of that away still.
Exactly. He does.
Which is the issue.
But doesn't Draymond Green take some away from Stephen Curry?
He normally would. This is the thing. This is the thing that you have to take into consideration here. A lot of people, if you ask them, whose team is the Thunder? Is it Westbrook's team or Durant's team? You'll get it split down the middle probably, right? That's not the case in Golden State. If you ask 10 people who the man is in Golden State, what are they going to say?
Curry.
And it's not even close.
Yeah.
No one points to Draymond Green. He doesn't have that profile that Westbrook or Durant have. So those guys are sharing the spotlight, whereas he doesn't have to share with anybody. Klay Thompson's already kind of shied away from the spotlight. He doesn't get as much camera time. Stats aren't as impressive, disappears in big moments. So it's not like Curry really has anybody to share the spotlight with.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Draymond is an interesting is interesting there. He's so important to that team, and I touch on it. He might be their most important player. That doesn't mean he's their best player, but importance-wise, he's right up there. If you take Durant or Westbrook off the Thunder, they're probably still a top 6 or 7 seed in the West. So,
I agree. Mark, what do you think, man? I don't know that we have Mark. Go ahead, Danny. What do you think?
For me, the MVP, like I said, it's Stephen Curry for now, but I think Russell Westbrook is right there, and I think right behind both of those is Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Let's change gear to MVP, and let's talk about the Defensive Player of the Year. Mark, who do you got for Defensive Player of the Year?
Shoot, it's tough, but I'm going with DeAndre Jordan.
Okay, what's your reason behind DeAndre?
Well, I mean, he rebounds, he blocks, he seems like he's all over the place. He's really getting up and down the floor. Since the Clippers have went on this win streak, he's really been, the backbone of the team. I understand what Chris Paul does, getting everybody involved, but with those defensive stops, him really just controlling the paint, really better than anybody in the NBA, to be honest with you, at this juncture. I like him, for Defensive Player of the Year.
Paul, who do you got?
It's hard to disagree with that one. Mark has a good one there. I think you might look at Draymond Green as well. The problem with Draymond is he fits in several of these categories, but he can't win them all.
He could.
He could, but it's not going to happen. I mean,
voter fatigue.
Yeah, voter fatigue, and that's why LeBron's not mentioned in any of these categories.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you look at Draymond or you look at Kawhi. Kawhi has been. And he's been just as impressive as he was last year. So I don't know. I would give it to one of those guys, I'd say. I don't have a clear cut on either of them, though.
I think DeAndre is a really interesting candidate, but
it's a good choice.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to take Kawhi. The fact that he's on the second best team in the league and he shuts down this team that they're playing's best player pretty much every night. Curry, still had a bit of an off night when they played, and the Warriors still beat them by 30.
Right.
So that just kind of shows you the Warriors, car as it's going. One person might have a bad night, but they're still going to beat you handily. But I'll take Kawhi because of his versatility defensively and the fact that he takes the best player on the other team every night and can shut him down. And he had probably the block of the year blocking a Kevin Durant jump shot.
That's a good point.
I think, you guys are pretty much hit spot on. I think for me, Kawhi is that guy. At the end of the day, you have a guy like Leonard who can pretty much shut down not one, not two, but three, and potentially even four positions at the same time. He can guard some power forwards. The stretch forwards, he can actually guard some of those guys.
Yeah.
The stretch forwards, not the low-down power forwards, but he can guard the majority of the stretch forwards.
He could guard a Draymond Green. He couldn't guard Zach Randolph.
No, he couldn't guard even Tim Duncan or LaMarcus Aldridge, if that would be the case, since even though they're teammates, he can't guard those guys. But he can guard any point guard. He can guard any two. He can guard any three with effectiveness. Draymond Green, of course, is up there. For me, another guy that doesn't get a lot of credit for being very good defensively is Andre Drummond in Detroit.
Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, I don't know if you remember, before the season started, we all made picks, and Drummond was my guy for Defensive Player of the Year because I felt like the rebounds were going to be something huge in his favor, and so far it has been. So, I mean, that's not a bad pick either.
If you guys got anybody in Orlando or across the country have anything to chip in or chime in for us, 407-482-3776 is the call-in number to check in with us tonight. Guys, okay, we talked MVP, we talked Defensive Player of the Year. Let's talk Coach of the Year. Obviously, in Orlando's case, it's not Scott Skiles, but who are you guys' Coach of the Years right now? Mark, I'll start with you first.
Man, that's tough. I think, to be honest with you, I got to go with Pop. He has that team, right, second best record in the league. A lot of people count this team out. They're going to finish fifth, fourth, but they're right there, with the Warriors. And I understand the Warriors destroyed them, but, just with, who they had coming back, guys, they're still just able to rock and roll. So I got Coach Pop.
Zach, who do you got?
David Blatt. No. Can I take Luke Walton?
That's the problem.
That's the issue. Because
the problem.
Can you take Luke Walton, or does that go to Steve Kerr? I think that
they cancel each other out. So,
do they though?
I can't give Steve Kerr Coach of the Year.
You could have co-coach of the year.
I can't give Steve Kerr any type of Coach of the Year.
That team is still beating the doors off of everybody with Kerr running the show.
But the thing was, Walton won 38, 39 games before we even had this. Before we had the coaching switch.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that's why I wouldn't go with Kerr or Walton is because Walton can't win the award. By league rules,
he can't even coach the All-Star team,
which is crazy. So, I think I would go with Popovich or believe it or not, here Billy Donovan has done an outstanding job as a rookie coach.
Yeah.
So,
my choice, Dwayne Casey in Toronto,
and that's not a bad decision either.
No.
I mean, I'll say I was wrong earlier when a couple weeks ago I said Toronto's not they're not a good enough team to contend in the East. I mean, they proved me wrong the last couple of weeks. They've been impressive, and I think a lot of it has to do with the coach and getting the players to buy into one team, one philosophy, running an offense with continuity. They've played some impressive basketball.
I mean, I agree. Like I said, for me, Dwayne Casey, even though I think it's more than just Dwayne Casey, I think when they added Damari Carroll in the offseason. Carroll's missed almost the last month of action.
He's a glue guy, though.
He's that type of guy that changes teams. Everywhere Damari Carroll's been, that team has immensely gotten better. I mean, when he left from Utah, they were good when he was in Utah. He went to Atlanta. They won 62 games last year in Atlanta. Now he's out in Toronto, and now they're the second best team in the Eastern Conference. When they get him back sometime in late February, first part of March, it's going to change the complexion of the Raptors. So for me, Casey, they've got to be second in the Eastern Conference. They're 2 games behind Cleveland. Mm-hmm. So I think I think it's a no-brainer choice because, like you said, Walton and Kerr cancel each other out. I'm not big on – Lou is now the coach in Cleveland. And Pop – Pop is always going to be there. But no one expected Toronto to be second in the East.
That's a good call. It's a good call.
Casey's really interesting. Maybe you look at a guy like a Frank Vogel or an Eric Spoelstra who are getting a little bit more out of slightly less talented guys.
I disagree with Miami.
Miami's way more talented than where they should be.
I agree with that. Now, Vogel, I think, is interesting. They don't have a lot going on.
They have Paul George and then a bunch of role players.
Miles Turner has looked very impressive, by the way.
Coming back from injury.
Yeah.
That's Mark's guy.
I was wrong on Miles Turner. I will say that.
That was Mark's guy. But, before we go to break, last one real quick around the panel. Rookie of the Year. Is it consensus that it's Karl Towns?
It's not even close. Yeah, it's Big Cat. It's not even close.
Yeah, it's Karl-Anthony Towns.
Mark, are you there? I think we lost Mark again. For me, it's easy. Mark, you there?
Yeah,
Who do you got for Rookie of the Year? On my end, it's easy. It's Towns. Porzingis has played well, but at this point, you got to go KP. Yeah. So we're going to take a break here, live here at the Cajun Hotspot, 7365 West Colonial Drive in Orlando, Florida. Check us out. We'll be live here from 7 to 9. Also, come enter the raffle for a chance to win a trip to Cancun. This is Full Court Press Radio, sponsored by SOFOELLC on Sport Talk 1080, The Team.
Shirts Just For You is a unique custom graphic apparel store. Our motto is made for you, inspired by you. We offer a variety of designs ready for purchase, or you can create your own at no additional cost. With spring just right around the corner, they would like to get you prepared, whether it's just for yourself or for your big event like a family reunion, bachelor, or bachelorette party, or even a work function. When you buy 4 shirts, get the 5th free using the code NBAFCP Radio Buy 4, get more at checkout.
Are you looking to expand your reach and following in all platforms of media? Do you need a jump start in expanding your brand to all markets across the world? SOFO is here for you. SOFO means something for everyone, and they are here to help you expand your business through all platforms of media. Their experienced team is here for you to expand your brand and put you and your business in places that you would have never been before. Check them out at www.sofoellc.com or call 407-607-9862. Follow SOFOELLC on Instagram and Twitter.
Hey guys, I just bought my son some sick basketball apparel from DHTK.com. Head over to DHTK.com because they represent the newest and coolest brands such as Don't Hate the King, Represent, which is REP23NT, and Game Over, GAME30OVER. DHTK's vision is to integrate culture, fashion, and attitude that best represents the players and caters to us, the fans. Click on DHTK.com and subscribe to their basketball updates and receive an automatic 10% off. And don't forget, follow them on social media, DHTK.com. Don't Hate the King.
Welcome to LateNightParents.com. I'm your host, Ted Hicks. We have a weekly podcast where we sit down and talk with game changers in the sports, technology, education field, and we even do product reviews and giveaway. Why, you ask? Because we're all parents. So if you're ready for an up-close and personal look, then check out our podcast. New episodes are available every Thursday. That's LateNightParents.com.
Press Radio, sponsored by SOFOELLC on